Hey everyone, Ryan Bolton here. I am a mortgage nerd. I've been playing with my camera a little bit to try to get it working a little better with the lighting I have in my office. I even bought a different camera, so I might try that. But just thought I would jump on here. Over the weekend, I had an experience that I just thought would be good content for a video. It's the question about paying cash for a home. So I get leads that come in from real estate agents, from my past clients, and I also subscribe to Zillow leads that hit certain zip codes. Those leads come to my office. And I had a chance to talk with one of these leads over the weekend, and they just said they were going to just pay cash for the home. And I tried to explain that I don't think that's the best way to go, especially if you're a real estate investor. And I was asking the lady, I said, basically, if you have a better system, please tell me. But here's what I've done with my real estate investing that's worked way better than paying cash. So I want to dive into these numbers a little bit and see if I can convince you that paying cash for a home may not be the best option. So let's take a look at the actual numbers. All right, let's dive into the numbers. I'm going to use this scenario that I got just over the weekend, so it matches that scenario exactly. The sales price was $850,000. I'm going to do 35% down because once you do 35% down instead of 100% down or paying cash, the rate doesn't really give you much of a break after 35%. So you can do 40% down or 60% down, kind of whatever makes sense. But as far as the best interest rates, 35% is really the most you have to put down to get the best interest rates. So in that scenario, it would be a down payment of $297,500. The loan amount will be $552,500. Now, just for simple math and just kind of see how this pencils out, I'm going to use an 8% interest rate. Now, rates could be lower or higher depending on the time you look at this video, but I want you to see the concept, kind of the math behind paying cash versus doing some sort of mortgage on the property. So I'm going to use 8% as the interest rate. So again, the rates may be different at the time you're doing the loan. That doesn't factor in APR or loan fees. Just again, for purposes of explaining how this works, I'm going to use 8%. That'll give you a payment of $4,054.05. Here's kind of the math I think that really pencils out for me and why I don't think it's a good idea to pay cash for a home, especially if you've got to sit the full amount, $850,000 sitting there. Even with an 8% interest rate, you might be better off to diversify that money. I often tell my clients that are paying cash, would you take $850,000 and put it towards one gold bar or one stock, but you're going to put it all into one property? Why not buy two? Why not buy three? There's just a lot more flexibility. So here's one thing that I think is pretty interesting. If you give them all $850,000, they get it all today. It doesn't change the appreciation factor on the home. It's not like the home's worth more now that it's free and clear. The market dictates what the home's worth, not what interest rate you have or how much money that you put down. So if you divide $552,500 by the payment, even at 8%, of $4,054.05, that equates to 137 months of that mortgage payment, which is 11.3 years. So you're basically prepaying 11 years today to get it free and clear. You can take that 552,000, put it into some other account, other real estate, somewhere else over the next 11 years, and if you get even better than a 0% rate of return, you're ahead of the game. Well, then you say, Ryan, what about the 8% interest rate? Well, if you pay cash for the home, you're not getting any return on that money. Again, the appreciation is not going to change. But if you're able to have that 552,000 going into an account, making the payment, or buying other investments, or diversifying that money, you can't tell me you won't be able to find ways to get a better rate of return than even 8%. Even if you don't, you're still going to have access to those funds without refinancing or selling. If you put $850,000 down on a home, how do you get the money back? The only way is selling or refinancing the home. Having it liquid for other opportunities will offset that 8% interest rate all day long. Plus, you may have the tax benefits. Now, tax benefits differ if you have a lot of mortgage you can write off, but there's still some tax benefits there typically with the interest that you're paying that offsets the interest rate. But I've seen basic checking and savings, some of the money markets now are up to 4 and 5%. So you only have to offset 3% over the next 11 years to make more money on your money than just having a free and clear home. And if it is something where you're worried about having that payment, you can put it into an account and have it make the payment for the next 11 years. And if you earn any kind of rate of return on that money, that 11 years gets pushed down the road even farther. And that's if you get an 8% interest rate. If you get 7.5 or 7 or some other interest rate, the money lasts even longer before it runs out. So you can give it all to them today, all $850,000, or spread out some now as a down payment, the rest over the next 11 years. you're going to be better off having that money liquid, having it available for other investments. So I think it's really important to run those numbers. Now, please comment, like, subscribe, put a comment down below why you don't think this is a good way to do it. I'd love to poke holes at this. I'm telling my clients these are great ways to look at it. I mean, in this scenario, you could buy two properties, two $850,000 properties, both of them cash flowing, both of them earning appreciation, both of them potential tax benefits, and diversifying your money and still have money left over, or have one house. I'm telling you, I don't know anybody that says, hey, put all your money into one stock, one gold bar, one oil field. I mean, all the places money can go, one Bitcoin. You wouldn't put all your money into that basket. And yet people do it with real estate when you have all these financing options. You have great interest rates, great incentives, appreciation on the home. There's just better ways and better places to put that money. I can't tell you how many people come into St. George, they've sold a home somewhere else, they're retiring to St. George, they bring these big down payments and pay cash for a home. And then 2-3 years down the road, they're getting a home equity line of credit, they're refinancing, they're doing something to get their money back. Where if they just started with their money, they could have wiped out all their other debt. They could have a small payment that was covered by their down payment for years to come and still had money left over and easier to get to. Again, you cannot get the money back without selling or refinancing. Where maybe other investments, mutual funds or CDs, depending on how aggressive you want to get, the stock market, wherever you want to put that money, you can layer it with more aggressive nature. So I had one client that put, like 2 years with a CD just so the money came available again, then rolled it into another CD. So the part of it was like a very low risk. The rest of it was doing more aggressive stuff. And then he ended up buying another rental property that was cash flowing and making even more money. And this is back when interest rates were even lower. So the numbers pence out. I don't care if the rate's 2% or 8%, it just makes that money last longer. And it's worth paying the 8% if that's what the interest rate is to free up the money and buy more real estate, buy other funds, pay off all other debt. I just think there's a way to leverage mortgages and real estate that you can't leverage with other types of investment vehicles. And that's why so much wealth is created within real estate, is because it does have these financing options, 30-year fixed rates that are just better than any other type of debt that's out there. So I highly recommend you run the numbers. I'd love to run them for you. Maybe the magic number is 20% down. Maybe the magic number is 50% down. I just want to show you kind of one way to look at this, that you're just better off to keep in this scenario, 552,000. You're better off to just keep it. And even if you earn a zero rate of return, put it in an account and make the payment for the next 11 years. And you can't tell me the home won't be worth more in 11 years. Can't tell me maybe rates will be different during that time. You can't tell me you're going to keep it that long. A lot of times people don't keep them even that long. And that's earning a zero rate of return over the next 11 years. I mean, that's just sticking the money under the mattress and putting it nowhere and getting no rate of return. And you still can make it 11 years before you run out of money. I just think there's better ways to use that money than putting it all down. So please like, subscribe, comment below. Love your take on this. Poke holes at this for me. Tell me why this doesn't make sense. I'd really like to answer your questions and make sure I'm giving my clients the best advice possible. But this is what I've done in my own life. I've taken these down payments I was going to do, put it into the account, have the rent go into that account and the mortgage go out of it, and it becomes kind of out of sight, out of mind. And when anything happens with the house, any repairs, I've got this money kind of sitting there ready to go. So I've always found that's a better way to diversify using real estate financing. So hope you liked the video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.